Hey, what's going on, side hustlers? Today is Friday, August the 21st, and Fridays are usually good days for us delivery drivers. I mentioned recently that I was driving for DoorDash, right? In addition to Waitr. So I wanted to do a quick comparison of the two applications and kind of give you an idea of my pros and cons of both. They are very similar, and I will tell you that if you're hesitant for signing up for any other food delivery service, maybe you drive for DoorDash now and you're interested in Waitr, or vice versa, or maybe you drive for GRUB or one of the other delivery services. I will tell you that once you have some experience in one, most of that will translate to the other, all right? There's a small learning curve with each application, obviously, but it's not hard at all. I just wanted you to know that I'd been driving for Waitr. A couple years ago, I drove for Uber Eats. I found the DoorDash app to be very user-friendly and very easy, very intuitive. The navigation and all the settings were very similar to what I had seen from the other applications. So I want to go through 3 or 4 different categories, well, 5 or 6 different categories of the way that I put DoorDash head-to-head against Waitr. There's things I like about both. There's a few things I don't like about both. And we'll see who comes out the winner at the end, okay? Here we go. Number 1. Pay frequency. May not be a big deal to some of you, but kind of is to me because it's a side hustle, right? So I get paid at my full-time gig twice a month on the 10th and the 25th of the month. So spaced in between there, I like for my side hustle earnings to hit. With Waitr, they pay you every other Friday. So it's a bi-weekly process. I've always thought that term was weird. Bi-weekly? Shouldn't that be twice a week? Anyway, I digress. Every other Friday, you get paid any residual earnings from Waitr that you haven't cashed out using the instant pay feature. And both applications, DoorDash and Waitr, offer an instant pay or an accelerated payment feature where you can deposit accumulated earnings from your account directly to your bank account for a fee. And that's where this is key, okay? Yeah, sure, it only costs a buck or two. It's not a big deal. It's not going to break the bank. Maybe it's even like $2.99 for one of the applications. Here's my thing. You don't really need to do that unless there's an emergency. And in the case of DoorDash, you're going to get paid every Monday for the prior week's earnings. They run payroll every Monday. Some people say that shows up in their bank account on Wednesday. My personal experience is that it shows up on Tuesday mornings. So on Tuesday mornings, I'm paid all the earnings from DoorDash for the prior week. I think that's pretty cool. That way I'm getting some income 4 times a month. I'm getting income every Tuesday. And then with Waitr, I'm getting income every other Friday. The Waitr residual amounts hit my bank account. In this case, I kind of have to give the edge to DoorDash because I think weekly payouts are great, particularly for non-salaried people who are earning an hourly rate, particularly as side hustlers. It's hard to go two full weeks without getting any payment, and you're out here slinging orders, every night of the week and on the weekends. Getting the money every week is a little incentive to kind of keep you going. It helps prevent burnout, in my opinion. So now let's talk about category number 2 of our head-to-head competition between DoorDash and Waitr. That is the base pay amount for each service. Now, this has changed a little bit in just recent weeks, with Waitr offering a little more money based on the length of the delivery route. Used to Waitr base pay in my area, and this could vary based on your location. In my area, it was $1.90. The delivery fee was $1.90 per order. That was the amount that drivers got to take to keep home. The base pay in my area for DoorDash is $3 per order. So that's a pretty significant difference. I know it's only, $1.10, but that adds up over 30, 40, 50 orders per week, if that's the volume that you're looking at. Like I said, Waitr has made up some ground in this area. The downside is to make that higher base earnings for Waitr, you got to drive a longer distance. So it means you're going to be able to take less orders per shift. So keep that in mind. Again, in my area, this is just my personal experience. DoorDash, $3 base pay per order. Waitr, $1.90 base pay per order. So the third category I want to talk about is the types and numbers of restaurants. And again, this is of course going to vary based on your location, right? Because in your area, restaurants can sign on with, all 3 or 4 of the major food delivery services. Some restaurants may elect to only sign on with one. In my particular area, which I would call a smaller city, we're not exactly a big city here, but in my area, it seems that Waitr has cornered the market on locally owned restaurants, not big national chain restaurants, but more, I wouldn't say mom and pop restaurants, because they're very nice restaurants, locally owned seafood restaurants, steak houses, things like that. And they do offer some services at which you might consider larger franchise chains. But DoorDash in my area caters to a lot of the large restaurant chains. One of the benefits to that is, obviously an order from McDonald's or Crystal Hamburgers or Burger King, Chick-fil-A, those areas, those orders are probably going to be smaller, but they're more frequent. So you're going to get a lot of orders for McDonald's. Early on, I thought that was a bad thing, frankly. And, I kind of dreaded going into McDonald's, but I got to say, they've got it down. They've got a system. Every McDonald's I've been in this area has a system. They're very good about bagging up the orders. All delivery orders go in nice brown bags with a handle. And then they seal the bags with 3 stickers over both sides and one in the middle, so that it's kind of a tamper resistant. The other nice thing is they've got this little cardboard tray that goes down the bottom of the bag. It's sort of a wide based brown paper bag. And in the bottom of the bag, they've got this cardboard piece where they set your drinks down in. So everything's in one bag. You don't have drink carriers, those flimsy drink carriers that fold over on you and spill everything. But having said all that, there's part of me that really likes to support local restaurants. Just, when I go out to eat, I'd rather go to a local restaurant and give a small business owner in my local area the business than one of the larger chains. That's not always the case. I mean, I'll hit Taco Bell up, McDonald's every now and then too. I sort of give the edge to Waitr here because I like that they do have relationships with a lot of the local restaurants in my community. The next category I want to talk about in comparing Waitr versus DoorDash is, it's kind of hard for me to identify this or label this category, but I'm just going to explain it. It's the customer and delivery information provided to the driver up front. And what I mean by that is when you get a DoorDash order, DoorDash tells you the total mileage for that order, which includes your current location to the restaurant and from the restaurant to the customer. So if you get a DoorDash order for, say, $8, right? And you look at your total mileage and it's 12 miles. Ugh. You might be saying to yourself, that's less than $1 per mile. I'm not taking that order. Scratch, right? So you decline it. Then your next order for DoorDash comes in and you see that it is $7.50 for 3-mile delivery. I'd be all over that one, right? Okay. So it really helps you decide whether or not you want to take the order. Unfortunately, this is something that Waitr doesn't do a great job of, in my opinion. They will give you the total miles to the restaurant when you see the original order recommendation through the app. So wherever you're located, it'll tell you to go to, restaurant XYZ, and it's 4 miles away. Great. And I see that it's a $7.50 order. Perfect. Problem is, I get to the restaurant, I arrive, I pick up the order, and then I find out that the customer lives 9 miles away, and it's going to take me 17 minutes in traffic. If I'd known that up front, I probably would not have taken that order. Frankly, maybe that's by design. I mean, maybe Waitr doesn't want their drivers to, I won't say discriminate, but turn down orders just because of the distance. And I think one of the ways that Waitr has compensated drivers for that is by paying them a higher base rate if they have further to drive. Maybe a toss-up here in terms of who wins this category, but in my personal opinion, I really like that DoorDash gives the drivers the entire route distance up front and lets you decide whether or not you want to accept the order for that amount of mileage. So now we're on category number 5, which is really not a driving category per se, but it does involve the application and involves you as a driver, and it's the referral program. DoorDash has a fairly lucrative referral program, at least in my area. And again, this is one of those things that's different based on the demand in different areas of the country. But for me, in my area, DoorDash will give me as the driver who refers another driver $900, up to $900 for referring another driver who completes, I think, 240 orders in the first 60 days. That's pretty cool, because I've actually been in restaurants picking up an order and talked to somebody who asked me, hey, what's it like driving for DoorDash? What's it like driving for Waitr? And I'm happy to send them a link to the application, or, you know, my name or some way to look it up. Unfortunately, Waitr doesn't have a referral program. So there's really no incentive for drivers to pitch to other drivers to sign up. But that's different with DoorDash. One of the great things too about DoorDash is the referral program. Once you send them the link and they sign up, under your referrals in the app, you get to track how many deliveries they've completed towards that goal of 240 deliveries, or whatever the goal is. And it changes. When I first signed up for DoorDash, they were offering $800 for the first 220 orders in 60 days. And then that became $900 for the first 240 deliveries in the first 60 days. Sounds like a lot, but they add up pretty quick. I've only been driving for DoorDash, you know, an hour or two, well, probably 2 hours in the evenings, 4 hours on the weekend nights. And I think I've already done over 50 deliveries in the first 2 weeks. So I'm probably on pace to make somebody some money. So I think we're already up to round number 6 here in the head-to-head battle between DoorDash and Waitr. And I call this category schedule flexibility. And what I mean by this is that Waitr, if you work for Waitr, you can basically sign on and drive anytime you want for Waitr. Doesn't matter. Any time of the day, night, you can sign on and drive. If you schedule a shift with Waitr, however, through an application called Humanity, which is their scheduling application, you earn $1 bonus per order that you take during your scheduled shift. But I like that you can sign on and drive anytime, and I frequently will sign on and drive without having a scheduled shift, because I like the flexibility of being able to sign on when I want to. However, DoorDash is a little different. Actually, it's a lot different. DoorDash, you can only drive in your area if you don't have a schedule. You can only drive in your area if it's busy. And you'll see a map of your area that you signed up in, and neighboring areas that have DoorDash, neighboring cities, etc. You'll see them on the map when you sign in. And normally, if it's not busy, the area looks sort of gray or shaded. And then when it gets busy, it turns light red. And when it gets really busy, it turns dark red. And you start to see, you know, peak pricing, which is DoorDash's version of a surge. And if it's anything other than gray, you can sign in and call Dash right now. You can dash right away. However, if it's not busy and you don't have a current schedule, you have to wait. You have to say schedule shift and hope that there's some time later in the day for you to sign up to drive, or you try to schedule, you know, a few days in advance if you know it's going to be busy on a Friday night or Saturday night. I definitely like the flexibility that Waitr offers in this category, and I, of course, like the $1 bonus that I get with Waitr when I do. You know, if I'm sure I'm going to drive Friday night for Waitr, I go ahead and sign up for a shift, and I try to take a shift, you know, from the prime times, like you know, 5:30 to 7:30 or 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. and go ahead and drive, earn my $1 per order, and that's great. You know, DoorDash, like I said, is a little different, but definitely have to give the advantage to Waitr in this round. So in this round of our head-to-head competition between DoorDash and Waitr, I want to talk a little bit about the gear that you get for signing up. Actually, the Waitr bag, which I'm a huge fan of, you don't get for free, right? But that's okay. It's a good bag. It's going to cost you, you know, $30 or $40 depending on your area. I've heard some stories of some people being able to score one used on eBay. But if you do have to buy one from Waitr, from your representative, it's going to cost you about $40. The great thing about this bag is, number one, it's huge, which is also a con. It's a pro but a con, because it is so huge and you take it into restaurants, you tend to bang into doors and tables and so on with it. So it's a little bulky, but it's got a lot of compartments. This bottom section here is great. It unzips all the way across the bag, and you can put a large pizza, maybe even 2 large pizzas in there, stacked on top of each other, which is great for pizza deliveries. The top compartment is nice and wide. It's well insulated, so you can carry a big family meal or 2 in there. And then it's got a little side pocket on the top. This top compartment is insulated separately from the other top section of the bag, which is great for dropping drinks and things down in, because if they spill, it's not going to get in your main compartment and potentially ruin your customer's dinner. The DoorDash bag that you receive when you sign up for DoorDash bonus here, because it is free, DoorDash actually mailed this bag to me. This is what you would call like just a small insulated bag. You can see it's much smaller than the Waitr bag. It does have a nice insulation, has a zipper top, which is pretty cool. And one of the nice things about carrying your bag into the restaurant, this one's not nearly as bulky as the Waitr bag, but the restaurants will recognize you as a delivery driver. So without even having to walk up and say, hey, I'm Jason with DoorDash, I'm here to pick up blah, blah, blah. They see the bag and they just say, what's the name? And I say, Julie. And they'll say, great. And they hand me the food and we verify that it's right. So just by carrying in one of these bags, you're kind of saving, you're shaving a few seconds off of each order pickup, because instinctively the restaurants will recognize you and know that you're a food delivery driver. But I have to say, in this battle, DoorDash the bag's kind of puny, and it's free. You get what you pay for, right? Waitr clearly wins this round easy. They are the undisputed champion of food delivery bags. So I'm going to use the remaining daylight that I have left here to go ahead and take this fight into the final round, okay? This is the final round between DoorDash and Waitr, going head to head for the food delivery heavyweight championship of the world. Okay, I'm no Bruce Buffer, right? But anyway, the final category, the final round in evaluation will be based on acceptance requirements. In other words, order acceptance requirements between DoorDash and Waitr. What are the differences? First of all, I'll tell you, it's a little difficult to find any hard evidence that either application is going to deactivate or ban you based on your acceptance rate. However, I will tell you that I have received communications from Waitr in the past to drivers in the form of communication blasts, not to me specifically, telling us that Waitr expects drivers to accept at least 80% of the recommended orders. And this is particularly important when it's busy, because Waitr doesn't want orders to sit, they have to pay surge pricing, they get complaints from customers. So obviously, if it's really busy and you get a recommended order, you should probably take it, right? I mean, at least 4 out of 5 times, if you believe that 80% rule, okay? DoorDash has basically come out and said they don't care how many orders you accept. You can have like a 40%, 30% acceptance rate. They're not going to deactivate you, okay? What matters to them is your order completion rate. In other words, of the number of orders you accept, what's the percentage that you complete? Now, that number really needs to stay up in the upper 90s for you to stay out of trouble with DoorDash, okay? My acceptance rate's 97%. I think I had one order that I got to the restaurant, there was some snafu or some emergency, and I had to break away and I had to drop that order. So literally, like, out of my first 30 or 40 orders, I've delivered all but one. So my completion rate is currently at 97, almost 98%. So I'm fine. All right, guys, so now it's the moment you've all waited for. Thank you for making it this far in the video. First of all, if you're still watching, we've gone through several different categories, from the gear to order acceptance terms to the base pay to the flexibility of scheduling and being able to drive at certain times when it's busy, when it's not busy. And now it's time to crown our champion. So I will tell you though that this was a really tight contest, okay? Some rounds went to Waitr, some rounds went to DoorDash. So without further ado, let's announce the results of this heavyweight fight. The winner. Okay, guys, I don't want to hear any boos. Don't throw any, sour grapes up here on the stage at me in the ring, okay? There's no winner. And the reason there's no winner is because there's enough pros and cons for both DoorDash and Waitr that you should consider driving for both. What you'll find in your particular area is there are certain areas that do better with DoorDash than those who do better with Waitr. You'll also find different days do better, different times of the day do better. Waitr in your area might do better for breakfast because they have more local, bakeries and donut shops and certain areas like that cater to breakfast. And then you might find that DoorDash does well for lunch because people, they're on a lunch break, they got to get something quick. So they're ordering sandwiches or subs or, fast food. And in your area, maybe DoorDash sort of has not a monopoly, but they sort of corner the market on fast food restaurants. And then you may find that in the evenings that your local area Waitr orders, the volume of orders is much higher, and or the ticket price for the restaurant is much higher, and so you're going to get a better tip. One difference I didn't talk about, I didn't think this was worthy of its own round, but one difference, and it's a little subtle, is that Waitr, when a customer places an order with Waitr, they put the tip in up front and they can't change it. So when you receive the order, the tip is included in that total, and that's what you're going to get. All right, doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are, it's what you're going to get. DoorDash is a little different. DoorDash, they include the tip when they order, but when you complete the order, the customer can go back in and add some additional tip. So if you're exceptionally polite, or you do what they ask you to do, with non-contact delivery, read your directions, folks, on the orders. If they want you to drop it off at the door and not ring the doorbell, don't walk up to the door and ring the doorbell. The dog starts barking, the baby's crying, and you're not getting any more tip, I assure you. But if you're polite, you text the customer, if their order is delayed, text them and ask them if they want some additional condiments or some plasticware. Can really go a long way. I frequently accept a DoorDash order, and it might be, say, $10 with the tip. When I complete the order, I notice that the customer's given me an additional $3 for the tip, and so now it's like a $10 or $13 order. I really do believe this, guys, that there's enough value in both applications that you should sign up and drive for both in your area and make your own determination which one's busier, which one pays out better, which one caters to certain restaurants in your area that are better. And I obviously leave that up to you. So because it's so personalized to your area, I really can't recommend one or the other at this point. Like I said, there's things I like about both services. There's a few things I don't like about both services. Either way, sign up, start your side hustle, pay off your debt, stack up the cash, whatever you're trying to do. If you do want to sign up for DoorDash or Waitr, I've got the links down below in the video description. Don't forget that there is a bonus sign up for DoorDash. The details will be down below. You can earn some extra cash just for completing your first set of deliveries. Pretty cool. There is no referral bonus for Waitr, but I will include the link to sign up for Waitr as well. And whatever you do, even if you don't decide to drive and you just want to ride along with me, please consider subscribing. At the time of this publishing this video, I'm at 75 subscribers, trying to make it up to 100. And I hope to have that here pretty soon. I'll be able to, rename my channel and give it a custom name. There's some other nice things that YouTube does for you when you reach 100 subs. So please consider subscribing, click the bell, turn on all notifications, and you'll know when I get my next video. You'll be able to jump in and watch it. Also, don't forget to comment. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. If you have any video topics or any feedback on either of these applications, please feel free to comment below. Hope everybody has a great weekend, a great week next week. I'll be back soon with another video. Got several new topics that I'm excited to talk about, and I will be back before you know it. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Be well.